You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Tough times for sure. What are you going to do? How are you going to carry forward? How are you going to not just survive, but actually thrive? Well, the person you are about to hear from is an expert in that. And he says, now is the time to invest in yourself and your business. His name is Robert Bendetti. Robert, You've been in business quite a while. You've got a large group that you run of CFOs, of executives. So it's really great to have you here. Just tell us, there's different ways of investing in yourself. What is the best way to invest in yourself?
Well, Kerry, thanks for having me on. I love listening to your podcast and I've been a big fan. And happy to be here. In listening to some recent guests, I thought a maybe missed point for all your listeners. Maybe they're solo entrepreneurs or they work for a big company and they consider themselves entrepreneurs, or maybe they're entrepreneurs and they own their own business. I think they need to be treating themselves and they need to be treating their business like the greatest asset and wealth generator that could be. And I think now is the time to invest in yourself and in your business to reap those rewards. And so I wanted to come and kind of talk about that and share some thoughts.
All right. So sometimes though you start a business, it doesn't work out, it fails. How do you know whether this thing you're been working on, put your life's blood into, whether that is in fact the place where you should be, or perhaps you can start another business?
Yeah, I think often I talk to a lot of folks. I think my particular specialty, and I think the specialty of any senior financial executive, is that we help those entrepreneurs turn that revenue into profit. That's a big missed point for eager and smart and technical and sellers. They can get the revenue, they can find the customer, but it's much harder to make a profit. So I think that is where you need a partner, a fractional partner. You need some sage advice, or just need to be thinking about it at the simplest level, that revenue is not the point of all this. It is profit. You're in the pursuit of profit, not being busy.
All right. So pursuit of profit. So that means working on the things that are going to bring you the highest return, and either not doing the things that aren't going to return money to you, or if they're essential, trying to find somebody else to delegate to. If you're a solopreneur, though, the buck literally stops in your lap.
Yeah, it does. And I'd maybe even start a little bit before that. And I think this advice when I'm going to define what I mean by invest in yourself. I'm trying to make this apply these comments to the solo entrepreneur, the intrapreneur, the entrepreneur. First step in this, what do I mean by invest in yourself, would be some education and training. That our world life experiences are good, but they're not as good as learning from others. To be able to listen to Kerry and learn from his 40 years of experience in 30-minute pops once a week, that's a huge advantage you can have and leverage his knowledge. That could be a professional certification in your profession. It could be a degree, but it could also just be a book, or it could be advice of somebody who's done it before you. I think either investing in education and training for yourself or your people, absolutely critical right now. So much is changing so quickly. That would be the first investment I think you need to make in yourself to yield those returns. And the second is, I think, experience. I like alliteration here, so I'm going to go education, experience, and exposure. And I think experience, what I mean by that is, I meet so many people that are doing a little side hustle and they want to go to a full-time thing, or they're thinking of just skipping and I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start something else. And they miss the idea of getting some experience in that industry, doing what you're planning on going full-time in. If you're going to invest in a new cryptocurrency, you're going to invest in a precious metal, you want to have some experience in that industry before you go all in. And I'd say the same thing is true for business. Apprentice for somebody else before you go all in. If you're going to quit your job and buy a McDonald's franchise and spend $5 million, maybe you should work in the food and beverage industry or take a weekend side job working at a McDonald's. That isn't beneath you before you're going to spend $5 million and own a franchise of some sort and spend every dollar you ever had. I think that gaining some experience for you or your people, if you're going to expand to a new geographical market, or you're going to expand with a new product or service, test it. Gain some experience before you go all in. That's another investment. And then last, exposure. I think that it absolutely critical, no matter what your field is, to give back and then to learn from others with exposure. Volunteering in civic or industry or in some community organizations giving back, I think is absolutely critical. And you meet so many people in the community that you're going to learn from, and you get to give back.
So what about this concept of failing your way to success? Everything in our schools, all of society preaches, whatever you do, don't fail. Play it safe, take it easy, take the low road, whatever it takes, avoid failure. You ever failed before in your life, Robert?
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Today's show is brought to you by Mustango River Resources. Their flagship projects are located in Kirkland Lake, an established gold camp that has historically produced over 70 million ounces of gold. The Kirkland West project is a high-grade gold project beside Kirkland Lake Gold's world-class Mikasa gold mine, one of the highest-grade mines in the world. Umeja project is an advanced stage project with 600,000 plus ounces of gold along the Cadillac Break, 25 kilometers east of Mikasa. Their projects have the potential to transform into another world-class mining camp in the Kirkland Lake District. Make sure you go over to Mustango.com. That's Mistango.com. Take a look and sign up for notifications. Stock is traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange, ticker symbol MIS. For more information and to sign up for notifications, go to Mustango.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network, the information you need to thrive now more than ever.
Well, we all fail all the time, and that's the whole point, right, Kerry? I can feel the sarcasm in your question, which is so true. The whole point is that we fail, and the whole point is to move forward. And if you fail, of course you're going to fail. Just fail forward. That you need to be in constant motion and action. I feel like we're in this. Instead of being about it, everybody wants to talk about it, or they want to post about it. And I just think that's the wrong mindset. Anybody who's ever been truly successful, that there's been 10,000 failures and one thing went okay. So it's what we've got to do. We've got to go out and put in 10,001 attempts, and one of them will work out.
I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah. Like, hey, any person who's successful relishes their failures and the lessons that you learn from them. So, there's Scott Adams, publisher of Dilbert comic strip, wrote a book called Failing Your Way to Success. And like you said, you could fail and fail, but you're never a failure unless you believe you're a failure, right?
And I think it's easy to follow into that success trap because we all share little snippets, little pieces on social media, and then we absorb it in these little bite-sized pieces of things that people are sharing. And our feed from LinkedIn to Snapchat to Facebook is just a never-ending little snippets of all the awesome thing all our friends and family and acquaintances and other people in our industry are doing. And so we think, well, gosh, my business isn't awesome every day, and my family didn't go on an awesome vacation every day. I must be a failure. And it's just not true. Every single person that we're following, they have enormous struggles and are facing challenges and failing every day. But our kids absorb these little bite-sized pieces of success constantly. And so we think that's all there is everyone else is succeeding all the time. And then I'm the only one living this real life of failure and struggle. And it's not true. It's totally fake. It's as fake as reality TV. The truth is life is really hard and a real struggle with little pieces of pretty good. And you're doing awesome if you're experiencing a little piece of pretty good right now.
All right. So, you said a lot there, a lot to unpack, and it's not easy. We've been really exposed to a lot lately. What advice do you give to somebody starting out now? Young people want to be entrepreneurs. What are 3 things you tell them to do?
Well, first, building on the foundation of that investing, let's say you've done that. You've got some experience, exposure, and some education. Now you want to go out there and execute, or you've got these ideas, you've planning. Most young people that I've met, they have read 17 books and listened to 18 podcasts, and they've got 4 business plans, and there's very little action. And so I would try to suggest that they seize that opportunity to be about it, stop talking about it, and act, to stop planning and to act, to be aggressive, balanced, targeted, but to act.
Act. So there comes a time where you got to stop talking and you got to start acting, right?
Well, you learn so much more by acting, right, Kerry? You know, you test the market, you give it a shot, you talk to a customer, you check your pricing, you offer a service or solution, and then you're going to get amazing feedback from the customer. And then you pivot, then you make a change, you tweak, you improve your product. If all you do is plan and never talk to a customer, you learn nothing. You just waste a lot of time.
Okay, well, I know you out there are going to want to connect with Robert. Robert, how do we find you on the web? How do we connect with you? Twitter, whatever, social media?
Yeah, the only thing I'm really on is LinkedIn. And I think I'm the only Robert Bendetti on LinkedIn. I'm certainly the only bald one that's a CFO, and anybody is welcome to connect with me on there. If you happen to be a senior financial executive, so you're a CFO or a vice president of finance, love to have you join the Global CFO Council.
All right, excellent. And there's a link in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Make sure you go there, sign up for your free newsletter. Hey, Robert, thanks so much for stopping by, taking time out from your busy day. We appreciate it, and good luck.
Kerry, thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.